I can't say enough about our game plan as the assistant coaches put together and how prepared and ready our players were. They did a great job all week. We had a lot of focus, a lot of energy. We traveled just like you would like to travel, and we came out and got after it and had a really good first quarter, really good second quarter, with the exception of dropping a punt and getting a penalty right before half. We basically gave them 10 points, which one of the things going in was, hey, we've got to make sure we don't give them anything, and that ended up coming back and haunting us. I thought we played pretty good ball in the third quarter. We drove the ball, got a nice touchdown, came back, took the lead, and then I felt like their pass rush and our lack of pass rush in the fourth quarter kind of made the difference in the game. You got to give them credit for changing quarterbacks and executing with the new quarterback coming in. Caught us in some man coverage, made great throw, and they made great catches. So sometimes you get beat, and I don't feel at all that we lost the game. I feel like we got beat by North Dakota State. The thing we got to take from it is how you prepare for a game, how you come out and take the field, how you go play, how you compete. You turn the video on, man, our guys are playing as hard as they possibly can. They're competing, they're playing together. It was a fun game. It's fun to see two teams go after it like that and compete hard against each other, and it was a good football game. So we've got to learn how to win that game in the fourth quarter.
When you're that close, kind of their leg against the powerhouse team, everybody knows how good North Dakota State's been over the last decade. Just how close do you feel, just kind of where you are as a program right now?
I felt like we were going to drive the ball and go win. We made some really good throws and catches, got one on the sideline out of bounds, I think got to the 36-yard line. Then Ryan said he couldn't hear the snap count, the cadence, the clap, and we kind of hurt ourselves, put ourselves back. Still, the last play was pretty close. Xavier, we were supposed to pitch it back one way, and he did a good job faking it and coming out. And then if you look at it, Ty Scott's in perfect position for him to flip him the ball, and we might have got the first down. Who knows? For sure we would have, but no, I can't say that. We might have, but he slipped and fell. So, but I feel like we've improved a lot as a program, but we've got to show it here in the next 4 weeks. I told the players after the game is everything that we want, everything we've talked about is still right out there in front of us. It's up to us to go take it.
You touched on the penalties there, or there was the unsportsmanlike right before the end of the half that extended a drive, third down. You should have been off the field. There have been a few of those type of plays throughout the season. Are you concerned at all? Because it seems to be just kind of.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about it. We talk about it all the time, and that's the discipline part that we have to have. Discipline gives your passion purpose, and when you have play like that come up, it feels like you're giving in to something else than being concerned about the team winning.
And you want to balance you want the guys to be who they are. I'm sure that kind of gives a guy like Montre an edge. You see him out there just playing with confidence out there. How do you kind of balance that? Just kind of letting them play with a little bit of a swagger and just trying to stay disciplined at the same time.
Yeah, you have to have the poise to do it. You have to have the poise to understand, what you're getting yourself into. And there's no excuse for that penalty. That hurt us tremendously. And he's got to just walk away. And one of the things we talk about a lot is, as an athlete, it's a lot about being physical, out hitting somebody. It's a violent game. But there's a time when showing courage and displaying courage is being able to turn and walk away, not getting into it. And that shows more courage than anything else, and shows that you care more about your teammates than anything else.
You touch on Hunter Wood. You decided to stick with him again, just kind of play through it. Is that just kind of the same thing as the last time we saw there be a mistake?
Yeah, I don't know what happened on that. He made a couple errors on the punt returns. We worked all week that we're going to give him a look, give him a show, and we knew what their protection was going to do. They shift guys out, punter turns and faces the other way, and He's supposed to shift right now and get to the middle of the field, know where they're going to punt the ball, and just, I guess, lack of experience. We didn't get it done when the lights came on and it was game time.
Offensive line play, just kind of what you make of that, just going back and watching.
They battled. It was that's a really good defensive front. So we didn't win all the battles, but they kept working hard at it. I felt good at halftime when I looked down and saw we had 1 sack is all. Some of that was Jason's ability to move and run. But it was a 4-quarter battle, and they rotate guys in there, and they played up to 10 guys. But a lot better than a year ago, no doubt about that. And I think we've improved a lot as an O-line here in the last month. We didn't have Kendrick. Kendrick got hurt on Wednesday at practice, knee issue. I'm not even sure what his timetable is and if or when he'll be back.
Before the game, North Dakota State was only allowing 1 touchdown a game, and you guys put up 20. Even though it was a loss, were you proud of your offensive performance to go out there and put up points against a team that doesn't really allow any?
I thought we did a lot of good things, and particularly starting fast and the ability to run the ball in the end zone. That's something that really helped us. Tobias did a nice job on both of them. We got some good blocks on the first one. He ran through 3 guys to get it in the end zone. On the second one, we had some really good blocks at the attack, but he had to bounce it and come back outside, and our guys sustained it, so it was 2 really good runs. I thought we threw the ball and protected at times well, but not consistent enough to go score more points. And not being able to score after the 4th down conversion, having to settle for a field goal, hurt us a little bit. We made a couple errors there, and the communication. It was kind of, again, being able to communicate in that atmosphere. I didn't think we handled as well as we need to in the 4th quarter.
And the outside expectations of the program, obviously not from like the coaches and the players and things like that, but from the community and the fans, I don't think that a few years ago people would have thought that the game would have gone the way that it did, with it only being a 7-point game and a game that you guys could have won against North Dakota State. Are those outside expectations things that like you're clocking or paying attention to at all, and how has that affected the program?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is put a good product on the field, one that people want to come and watch, get some really good players that people can relate to and come and want them to come and watch. So, I'm proud of the home attendance that we've had so far. We need to crank it up these last 2 weeks, the last 2 home games. And that's really what we try to do, is make sure that our fans and everybody is proud of the product that we put out on the field. I think we're building it. I think we're doing a good job with it. We just gotta, we anticipated winning that game and we expected to win it, and so we're disappointed we didn't.
What do you see from North Dakota as opposed to how they were in the spring?
They're the same team. They're the exact same guys. They're running the same defense, a lot of movement by their defensive front. They give you a million different looks. Offensively, they haven't been as consistent as they were a year ago. They scored a bunch of points last weekend, but they haven't been consistent as far as driving and scoring and making the plays that they did a year ago. But they're a good football team. There's no question it's going to be a battle. And we're not very happy with the way we played in the playoff game. It was the first time that I felt like we didn't do a good job offensively, defensively, or in special teams. We turned the ball over in special teams, do an interception for a touchdown. We did all kinds of things to, give them the game. So we've got to have a great week of preparation and come out and play extremely well to beat them.
Have you paid attention at all to how you guys played in that, and just kind of looking at it when you're watching the film back, just where you are now compared to where you were in that playoff game?
Yeah, we didn't play well. I think we hit the wall a little bit. I've kind of felt that way in practices leading up to the playoffs. We played all in the fall, and the games were spread out. So besides playing games, we also practiced the whole time, and then you had this Christmas break, and then you come back and start the first part of January. I kind of felt like, I was really worried going into the spring Youngstown game, and our guys did a great job of battling and winning that. And I'm not sure how much we had left in our tank, or at least I can rationalize it that way, But we got our butts kicked. The bottom line is they came out and beat us. So we've got to get ready for this one.
Farron is a guy that's impressed me over the last couple of weeks, and when Dimitri decided to transfer, I think a lot of people would have pegged him as like a Power 5 linebacker. He'd get the starting spot, but Farron, they went back and forth. Dimitri started 1 week, and then he's had the injuries. What can you say about Farron's development and how he stepped up into that other inside linebacker role for you guys?
Yeah, Farron's a really good football player. He really knows the game. He has a great feel inside. He can slip blocks and make tackles. He can take on a block and shed and make tackles. You know, with him and Wiltz in there inside, you got a guy that can really read it and hit it, and a guy that can really run and hit it. They're a really good combination, the two of them. But Farron's always played really well. We missed him in spring. He had a high ankle sprain and took him forever to come back from it. And we were lucky that Lovelace could go inside and played really well for us at that time, moving from the Sam to the Mike, kind of doing both, you know, depending on what personnel group we were in. But we missed Farron in the spring season. He's always been a really, really good football player. He knows the game really well.
Do you pay attention to playoff outlook at this time?
No, we just worry about one game at a time, you know. I guess so, that's paying attention to it. You know, all we have to do is win. You know, it's all sitting there in front of us, so I guess we're paying attention to it a little bit. But the best thing for us to do is focus on one thing, and that's beating North Dakota.
They got that running back, Otis Waya. Talk to us a little bit about him and what you need to do to shut him down.
Yeah, he's a powerful guy. You know, he runs through tackles. He's got huge legs, so we've got to do a good job of form tackling him, getting the second guy to the ball, and really running and getting guys, more than one guy, to the football. He's been banged up a little bit, so I'm not sure exactly what his health is right now.
They send a lot of exotic blitzes, North Dakota does. And the offensive lines of units that's improved. It improved in the spring and it's improved so far in the fall. Do you feel more confident about your ability to protect those twists and those stunts from that defense now than you did possibly in the playoff game?
Yeah, I'm playing back-to-back North Dakota State, and then North Dakota helps us a little bit too, because there's some similarities in some of the line movements that they do and some of the games that they run. So that should be some carryover for us. And like I said, we did a good job a lot of time during the game the other night against that. But we're going to get it thrown right back at us again. So we've got to be able to understand what they're doing and utilize our technique. I guess that's one thing I was really proud of our offensive line is a year ago you get kind of overwhelmed by how fast and strong the guys you're going against are. And the first thing you do is you lose your technique. You get into a survival mode, and that's the worst thing you could do. So we didn't do that the other night. We were utilizing our technique. We were setting the way we're supposed to set. We were punching the way we're supposed to punch. We were run blocking the way we do in practice. So that was a really good job of improving.
Tyler Wiltz, who had 12 tackles in North Dakota State on Saturday, and Tobias on the right, who had 2 touchdowns in that game as well. And we'll jump straight into questions. Dan, you want to start since you've got the feature this week?
Yeah. Tyler, you're in all the categories. You get fumbles, you get interceptions, you get tackles for losses. How do you determine how aggressive you're going to be going into a game?
Can you ask that question again?
You're getting interceptions, fumbles, tackle for losses, sacks. Is that just something that your aggressive style, or how do you attack each game like that?
I honestly look at each game kind of like it's the same, because just like I bleed, they bleed as well, you know what I mean? And it comes with preparation, a lot of prayer as well. Just knowing that I'm blessed, and if I go out and do what I'm coached to do, that everything's going to work out. So like I always said at 111, you do your job, and Coach Jay always said, be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if I do that, good things usually come from it.
You're also very emotional on the field. Where do you draw that emotion and that inspiration from?
My teammates. It's all about us. Practice is all about us. Nobody sees what we're doing in practice. Nobody sees what we do in the weight room. Nobody sees what we do to prepare for those games. So you feed off of each other, and then that's what has brought us all success. Just like Braswell, all y'all said, Braswell, he was very emotional, especially playing on that stage. Me and him, we had our words, but at the end of the day, he better know like I got his back. I know he got my back, and that's what we do.
Do you take a little bit of extra pride in kind of being an emotional leader and kind of the guy who talks a lot in the locker room and whatnot?
I honestly don't really say too much. It's more of a like, you play your game and everyone else is going to follow. So it's like when I see Braswell catch an interception, I'm going to feed off of that. Next time we go, we need a 3 and out and try to get all 3 tackles. Farron, I see Farron making tackles in the backfield. Farron also has an interception. I see that, I'm like, okay, now I got to keep up with Farron. Kevin Ellis, he making sacks in the backfield. Anthony Payne, everybody doing what they got to do, so you have no choice but to be great. Even on offense, we see them go down and score a touchdown. First person I'm going to see Tobias. Yo, good job. We about to get you the ball back. Just like that.
Tobias, does he really not talk a lot in the locker room?
No, he didn't.
Really?
Tobias, everybody looks at you as a power back, but you're showing some good speed and vision too. Is this what you've always been, or have you kind of developed more since you've been here?
I mean, I'm just playing running back. As a position, you gotta have good patience and good vision. Of course, I'm a power back, but you gotta be fast to play the position too. You can't just be all muscle and slow. You know what I mean? So I mean, pretty much, yeah. I train for it. I practice at it. I'm getting better at it as the day goes on.
Can both of you guys just talk a little bit about what Coach Petrino was talking about, having everything in front of you still? Moving past the Bison to, you've got 4 games left, you want to make the playoffs, things are in front of you. Just talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course we got to take it 1 week at a time. You know we got North Dakota this weekend, and that's what we focus on right now. But we do have 4 games left to get us the opportunity to get back in the playoffs, make a run for it. And I'm excited about it. I think we got the chance to do it. I think we can do it, to be honest with you.
Tyler, you've been talking about chances of a national championship all year, even after the Oklahoma State loss, and just kind of with some of your good play throughout the year. When you come up that close to a North Dakota State team that has won a lot over the last decade, just where do you see the program now, just kind of this week, knowing that you guys were that close to pulling that off?
So when you think like that, and I honestly, after the Indiana State game, we knew we had a stretch. So that was like, okay, our bounce back game, we need to keep working. Like Coach P said, we knew we was going to win that game. We fell short. Now we got another big game coming up. It was a good team. We seen what they did to us in the playoffs. So now it's like, same thing. A loss, we got to come back with that same Indiana State mindset. We just got to keep that same mindset to get where we want to be. And me saying national championship, of course, we got to have that positivity. That's how you continue to win. You want to be the best, you got to think like the best. You always got to feel that, you know, that it factor. We all feel that it factor every day we have practice. Everybody getting a little fuss, you know, but that's what it is. We got to keep going.
Tyler, Coach was also talking about the Bison's defensive attack is similar to North Dakota's. Do you see that, and how would that help, you think?
I honestly just feel like that's just part of that type of football up there. Everybody knows it's different. When you play in a Dakota team, they just got it. But like he also said, like, you beat the body, the mind gonna follow. That's something they always stress to us. And I feel like that's what we did. Granted, we came up short, and that's what we plan on doing this week too. We got to out-hit and out-hustle them. And that's usually what our defense is. That's usually what our offense is. And like he also said, we're getting better. And that's what we got to keep doing through the weeks to end up where we want to be.
You and Farron are one of the best linebacker duos, Tyler in there as well. What's it like playing next to Farron, and what's that connection like between y'all two? Because I know you guys are both JUCO boys. You got a little bit of a chip on your shoulder.
It's honestly great. I love playing with them too because I know if anything goes wrong, if I didn't see something, I'll look at those two and be like, what did you see? The communication is crazy. It's like I've been playing with them like my whole life. So I know that if I'm feeling down or I'm feeling weak, I know if I'm not getting 10 plus tackles, how many tackles I get a game, I know one of them are gonna have those big plays. They gonna get me going. They always do. Before in the locker room, before we play a game, making sure I'm checking on them, they checking on me. You all right? You ready to go? Me and Lovelace, we literally the last two to leave the locker room every game. Listen to our music, jamming out. We look at each other. It's go time.
Is there a little bit of for both of you? Is there a little bit of bad taste in the mouth from how North Dakota did y'all in the playoff game? Is there a little bit of revenge on the mind going into this week?
Yeah, most definitely.
Just nodding the head. Why are we keeping it closed a little bit?
You got it.
There's not really much we can talk about, honestly. It's just we're just gonna go go out and play our game, do what we're supposed to do, come out on top.
Is it safe to say that you don't feel like you showed what Bears football was like in that playoff game, and you want to prove that, show them what it really is like now?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that was a bad game. I can't say that, but that wasn't our best game. And even at our best game, we're still not perfect. So we're trying to reach perfection. Yeah.
Where have you seen the growth since then?
Oh, you see it every day. If you're watching Bears play, you see the growth day in and day out. When we get better as the weeks go, we may come up short, but we still have good games. We watch the stats and everything else.
As Tyler mentioned earlier, that he gets more excited whenever y'all do stuff and teammates do stuff better. How does that help you as a teammate whenever you got a guy like that that is so hyped up for you whenever you do something good?
I mean, it's the same for the offense. Like, coming from a guy who played linebacker, when I see him make a tackle, it turns me up sometimes because I wish I could make a tackle. And I just happened to make a tackle in the game Saturday, and it kind of got me excited, like talking to the defense, like, yeah, I want another one, like low key. But yeah, it turns me up, like, especially knowing I can get the ball and we can change the game at any moment going out. So I like it. I like the energy.
So it's not fair that Trey Thompson gets to go out there and play a little bit of offense, but you can't go out and play a little defense? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's fair. We all trying to help the team. So whatever coach wants, we do. We all ball players. So.
You'd be a linebacker, right? You would be a linebacker?
If I wasn't a running back?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
How would he be?
You'd be good. You see how big this dude is?
Tyler, have you seen the program change since you got here in 2019?
Oh yeah, I seen it change a lot, especially like coaching changes, the attitudes of the football players. I'm not gonna say at first we didn't want to win. You could tell we wanted to win, but also it was that edge because we would come on fire. A great example, Kennesaw State. We was beating them down. Come out of halftime, I know you remember that game. Coming out of halftime, it was just like a whole different team. Now it's like we actually holding it. I feel like before we didn't know how to win. We hadn't experienced enough success to be like, okay, we can hold them and we're going to do what we do to actually get the win. Now I feel like we know what success is. Granted, like I said, we came up short a few times. That's happened. That's life. It's something that my old coach used to tell me. But basketball, you can control it. It's a circle. Whereas a football, it can bounce many different ways. So it's like, maybe it didn't bounce our way that time. We have 4 more games to make it bounce our way.
How much are you paying attention to playoff stuff right now?
Not too much. Honestly, I see the rankings. Okay, 17 is it? So I see them, but at the end of the day, knowing that the games we lost, we can be way higher. The what we played, I seen one of your tweets too about some of the people what they were saying. We literally could be a top 10 team easily. We came short, but it's not too late. With these 4 big games that we got coming up, and like Coach P said, 1 game at a time, we just keep chopping them down. 1 game at a time. Who knows where we're going to be? And then some of the teams that beat us, you never know. We have to see us again. And we're not going to be the same team. We're going to really know, like we know what it feels like to be in the playoffs. We already getting better. We've been getting better since OSU. And if we keep getting better, nobody will be able to stop us.
How bad was that week leading up to the North Dakota game during the spring? Coach kind of touched on that before you guys talked.
I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was difficult because we had a break in between. Because we beat Youngstown, it was kind of like a guessing game. Will we get in the playoffs? So we got in, we were excited, but also, like you said, we had been playing that whole spring and that fall. We had kind of practiced a little, but it wasn't too much. So it was like we were kind of pooped, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Not saying, okay, we didn't want to play, but I don't feel like everybody went out and gave it everything that they had like we usually do. So now that's also where you can see we transforming as a team. We doing things differently. We take every practice serious, no matter how tired you are, and that come off of feeding off your team. So like P will see I'm tired. Yo, Tyler, let's pick it up. Was it Kyrie?
I think so.
One thing that Coach P stresses to, especially the offense, I notice is try to get him to do better. Lamar Jackson, everybody know he Hall of Fame. That's just me right now. Hall of Fame. At the Louisville practices, every time he run into the end zone. Kyrie looked at Pee Wee, he was like, yo, Bowie, finish through the end zone. Guess what he did? He started to finish through the end zone. And it showed 2 touchdowns against, if not the best defense in the nation right now. And he only gonna get better. we only gonna get better. So.
So I was looking at the roster, and I think you're the only guy from Louisiana. So do the guys ask you to cook Cajun food or anything like that? Or?
A lot. But the thing is, so growing up, I was real lazy. Like, they used to try to get me to go in the kitchen. So I'm a smells guy. So I'd rather sit in the living room, watch TV, and smell it, then go eat. So, like, I don't really know how to make too much. Like, I can make jambalaya, like, little things. So they ask me often, but I usually be like, when my parents come in town, I'll get y'all right. So we're waiting on that, because they all didn't come together yet. So